Raul on to then do it in a bone setter so that you can see how to actually digitally plan this type of an osteotomy.
Michael, is that all right?
Yes, but one quick question before you come out of here. Can you please show again, the question is the center of rotation tool and
yes.
how to use that. I think it was easy to see how you moved it, but how did you apply it?
Okay, so I'm going to get out of this. I'm going to restart it and I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay, so I'm just going to remember at the end of doing this, I want you to save it. Okay, so I'm going to ask you to save it and you'll save it. And again, the same thing. I want you to export it as a JPEG onto your desktop. It'll ask you for a file name and you can save it. And I'm going to reload. I'm going to reload the whole thing. So come back here, reload site. And again, the code name is BC case. Let's go back. And I'm going to just draw a general shape. So here's the trace. So I'm just drawing a circle. And then the tool for center of rotation is way down in the left. Are you guys able to see it or no? Is that one of the problems? Can you see?
I can see it all the way down in the left at the bottom of the Zoom.
Yep. Way down here, it's the tool with the red line through it. If you pick that, it now comes up into any item that you're using. And so if I rotate, I can rotate the shape left or right. I can make fine movements with these tools. And then I can move the center of rotation wherever I like. And now it's going to rotate around whichever point you pick. So you can change the center of your osteotomy or the center of where you rotate anytime you like. There you go. And you can make fine movements over here. And the rotation, how many degrees you've rotated, is on the very bottom right. It'll show you from the horizontal. Horizontal will be 0. If you go to the left, it's going to go down 330, 320. If you go to the right, it's going to go positive 30 or 40 degrees. And again, you can do that on any tool. And again, I'm going to show you the cut tool again. If you cut a piece in half, you can make that line and you can cut it into 2 pieces, and then they become 2 separate pieces, and you can now rotate and put the center of rotation on either side.
Can you show the grouping tool again?
Yeah, there was just a glitch with the grouping tool. I'm trying to ignore that.
Let me just say one thing. So to do the rotation, the first step is to select what you want to rotate, right, Raul?
Yep. Then
you go to the bottom left and you select a tool, and that's the rotation tool. And that will then place that selection tool or the rotation tool within the item that you have already selected. And then the third point is to move the rotation tool anywhere you want, depending on where you want to rotate. Hopefully that is clearer.
So here I'm putting the rotation tool in the middle of an X-ray. So I can do the same thing. I can move it here. If I want to move it around this hip center, I can do that. If I want to move it around that hip, I can do that. I can put it any single place you'd like. Okay, that sort of helps you pick, as I said, an opening wedge, a closing wedge. You can change. You'll find uses for it. But that's the tools that I introduced to you today were the trace, the reverse. You can reverse anything like an X-ray. And I also introduced to you the centering tool, which allows you to move any piece lateral or medial. I'm gonna have the video up for you to do this at home. If you weren't able to do this, if you were, please save it and And the other thing I'd like you to do when you do the exercises, we've put some K-wires here that Keith had talked about, and I'd like you to put a couple of K-wires where you want to put your blade plate and one distal so that you have a 90-degree point. We can talk about this on Thursday, but I think I'm going to leave it here because I think that was enough. I don't want to go into more than what we did right now. I think you're going to have to practice a little bit to get to this spot.
So the grouping tool you'll show how to use on Thursday, okay?
Yep, I'll show you how to use the grouping tool on Thursday.
So let me just point out something for everybody as you begin to use bonesetter. The way all of these tools that Raul has shown is to first select the image, the radiograph, the implant, the screw, the tracing. You select that first, and then you can use any of these tools on that.